So here's how you can use AI Niche Finder to find your perfect niche based on your skills, experience, and whatever resources you have. So on AIclients.com, go on AI Niche Finder, which you can find here in the nav bar. And let's go through the form one by one. So first, we're asking you for your email address and full name, just so we can send you the information once it's ready. And then we're asking for business approach. So in here, you want to select the type of approach that suits you the best. And it's going to be either you focusing on the thing that makes you money most effectively, or the thing that gives you pleasure and makes it enjoyable to run business as much as possible, right? There's also option in between. For me, I'm also giving a reason for the business approach, which is that I don't mind learning new industries. It's quite fun for me. Actually, I care more about finding an opportunity that's easy to make money with. Then we go into professional background and experience, where you want to list out what you've done before, either the companies you ran or the companies you worked for, anything that you did. Then we want to go into your skills and expertise. So any type of skills you have, and they can be overlapping to a certain point. You kind of just want to give it enough context about what you can do yourself. And it can be both hard skills and soft skills. If you're very good at convincing people, if you're good at sales, then you can definitely count those in as well. Then we have personal interests and passions, which we take into account when deciding your niche using our AI system. For me, it's tech, SaaS, AI, large language models at a more technical level. And then we go into industry connections and network. For me, it's basically all the companies I either worked for or with, which would be owners and directors of education companies, marketing agencies, and SaaS companies. And then we want to answer the question of the observed business problems or market gaps. So for me, it's that most businesses think they need more leads, they struggle with closing deals and charging high enough. And then the last thing that we want to answer here is the resource constraints. For me, it's I can work all the time, wouldn't like to invest in ads at the start because of the cost. That's it, right? So what I do now is I press and find my niche, and we get success. Your niche finder request has been submitted successfully. Please check your email in a few minutes. So here's what you get once this is ready. So I've submitted the form before already, so you can see this has been filled out earlier, but this is the exact same request, right? So first, you get a bit of a table that breaks down the three niches that were chosen for you as recommended ones, whether they were that you can find companies doing at least $1 million a year in revenue, whether they are high ticket, what familiarity you have with them, and how easy they are to target. So you can see that for all of these, we're checking the box, let's just say, which means that we can target any of these easily. Now, we have an explanation of options. So we go into a bit more detail to understand why these options are good for us, right? So the first one is SaaS companies. And the reason for that is that it's a rapidly growing industry. There's high demand for B2B lead generation, sales process improvement, and all of my skills are relevant. I have connections, which makes it easy to enter that industry. The only challenge is that I'm based on the form responses, I may not have as much familiarity with the specific challenges that SaaS companies have, but because of my interests with tech and AI, it makes sense. The next one is education companies. Because I worked for one and I still run one, this makes sense for me as well. And then we have marketing agencies, right? So you have the reason for why it makes sense and also kind of like the downside so that you can consider all of these options and be informed. And then it gives you one best option that it then explains why it thinks is the best option, which in this case is education companies. And it's because I have deep familiarity with the sector, I have existing connections and skills, so it makes sense because there's a quick opportunity. Then I've also helped them successfully, so I have either a case study or at least know how to do the same thing again. And because of my expertise in AI, many of those companies will want to leverage AI as a thing for themselves. Then we also have a couple actionable steps, which the first thing always will be to leverage your connections and network because that's where you will get the deals most easily. Then we want to offer services so we can really understand exactly what they want, and then we can develop a targeted strategy, which will be done through a growth plan. So that's how you can use it. You can use it as many times as you want. You can try it a couple times, fill out the form with different levels of depth. You can do it for clients if you want, anything like that.